So what exactly has your role been for Homefront?
Well, basically, it's been a split role, actually, general manager of the studio and creative director. And on the creative side, it's overseeing the direction that Homefront's heading, the concepts, the ideas that we're striving for, and then the team is working on the details and the designs underneath that and the art side of it. And my role is really to try and bring it all together and supply that vision and make sure that we're achieving it.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. Now you're finished, right? Everyone in the office is having a party. They're wearing top hats because that's what you do when you finish your game. What is it? Standing back at the project, has everything gone as planned, like above and beyond, or is there more you wanted to do?
Oh, yes, everything went completely to plan. No, not at all. Actually, the outcome of the game, though, we're very happy with what we've achieved. We're very proud of it. I think players are going to really enjoy Homefront. It's going to find some experiences that they're not expecting that are different in the single player particularly, and then some great fun innovations in the multiplayer. Obviously, though, once a game ships, they say in game development, a game's never done, you just run out of time, so there's always things we would want to polish and add to the game, and that'll just have to be in the next one. And any fixes and patches, and we'll also be doing DLC, of course. So
this is actually something quite new, quite special yet again for the FPS genre that's really crowded. What's the feedback been like for you? It must be just so much more weight on your shoulders, isn't it? Or is it even better because you kind of know you're doing it right?
Yeah, no, I think it's more rewarding. When we started Homefront, and I think any concept that I want to work on, it's important to me to be able to explain the concept in a few words and have people be intrigued. So with Homefront, if you say experience occupied USA, I think most people will be like, that's interesting, I want to know more about it. When that's a big win if your IP has that immediate sort of attraction and curiosity level. And then when we showed Homefront the first time at E3 2009, I think people saw in there the kind of human emotion that we were trying to get out of the game and out of that demo that we did. Everything down to these white plastic buckets that we had in the level, and we were super detail oriented on these things. I didn't know if people were going to pick up on it. But one of the media members said, those white plastic buckets, I used to carry water in those as a kid, and it totally reminded me of my house, which is exactly what we wanted, so it was great.
Excellent. So is it a single player experience first, multiplayer second?
When we started out, we knew we wanted to do a big focus on multiplayer, actually. The studio's history is in that large-scale warfare multiplayer. We've done a lot of it over the years, and we really wanted to knock it out of the park. But when looking at the concept of this Occupied USA and the concept of Homefront, I felt pretty strongly that in order to really truly deliver on the potential of it, we needed to do a story-driven single player as well. So we started out thinking, the focus would be 60-40 multiplayer to single player, but single player is such a daunting task, and all the AI systems and the storytelling and all that, it took up a lot of resources as well. So I'd say it's been kind of full court press on both of them going through.
Excellent. Now you've already mentioned, there is a next step. They're obviously going to be doing DLC, but does the game take a natural next step to create a franchise, a series, or do you want to recreate a new story? Do the same sort of system, anything like that at all?
Yeah, we've always looked at Homefront as a franchise, and we've been talking to THQ about it like that from pretty early on, actually. Doing franchise planning, as Danny Bilson calls it, allows you to make some good decisions early based on what you want to do later. So assuming success of the first launch of the IP, we already have a pretty good idea where we would take Homefront to, and we're all pretty excited about that too. So,
now obviously, when you're messing about in multiplayer with drones, vehicles, big weapons, rocket launchers, battle points, buying stuff on the fly, how does balancing is a hard thing to do, right?
A few answers to that. One is a lot of play testing. We play test the game every day at the office for the last almost 3 years, play multiplayer together. And go off that. Secondly, another thing we've done is put dynamic tuning into the game, so we can change battle point or damage values or so on as needed if we find that there's an exploit or something like that, and it'll just send it right down to all the clients without needing a patch or a title update.
Okay.
So it's very flexible for us. The third thing is, though, I think you need to spend time with the game, because when we show it at media events, for example, a lot of the media will start complaining about the helicopter drone with the little rockets, and it's too powerful. But when we play at the office, and we've been playing for years, that drone doesn't last very long. You got to learn about the different ways to take it out. There's a lot of rock paper scissors in the systems. So
we talk about inspirations for the most wanted kind of battle commander. Obviously, inspirations come from first-person shooters as well. Obviously, there's Call of Duty. There's obviously Battlefield. Did you take things from each game that you liked to do in your own way?
Overall, there's elements that we were inspired by from Half-Life 2, from Call of Duty, from Battlefield, and I think there's elements of Homefront that will appeal to all those gamers. But ultimately, we wanted to have that familiar base and quality AAA first-person shooter mechanics and systems. Like, why reinvent the control scheme? If we're all comfortable with that one, let's put our innovation and time on innovation elsewhere in our unique Homefront systems like Battle Commander. And Battle Commander from the very beginning was set out to be as a unique, innovative Homefront multiplayer feature that wasn't inspired by anything else. We really tried to add something new to the genre there.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm absolutely loving it. We want to see more on Homefront in the future. But that's all for now. We'll have more on Homefront in the upcoming weeks.